and it is only for items that are not on today's agenda. So is there anyone here to comment for general public comment? Where are they? Is anyone here from the volleyball community? No? Yes?
Yes, come on up.
Yeah, so that's,
Now's the
oh,
time.
great. Okay, thank you, Dana. Oh, okay.
If you want-
I didn't understand that. Yes, so we're taking item 12 out of order so that you guys can comment and you don't have to sit through our whole meeting. So
And what I would suggest, and you don't have to do it this way, what I would suggest, since there's only 2 minutes, is that each speaker talk about something different. Don't say the same thing over and over again, because it's a waste of your time.
Yeah.
Try to get as many different concepts before us as possible.
So you guys can use this is the projector here? Here? Yep.
Here, we can see your...
I'll put the timer on for you.
Our last speaker is going to be remote, Madyson.
Okay, that's fine. Yep.
And it's okay if I man the slides after.
Yep, that's fine.
Cool.
Okay, you ready? Yeah, if I could have the majority of you kind of move away from behind this area and either sit in a seat. We don't really have there's plenty of seats, basically. You need to sit unless there's no seats. Thank you. Okay, go ahead and get started.
Cool. Hi, my name is George. I'm a lifelong resident of San Francisco and a grass volleyball player for 3 years. This community is by far the most welcoming and caring community I've ever been a part of. And we're here today to talk to you about our sport. First off, we'd like to thank Dana and Beverly Ng from the Parks Department, who met with us on Monday. We heard about staff challenges regarding turf maintenance costs, metal stake concerns, and space management. In turn, they listened to our concerns about ensuring there are enough areas to play so the community can continue playing and thriving. They've committed to exploring solutions together, for which we are very grateful. Because the sport's popularity has led to these emergent challenges and hence new policies around volleyball, we wanted to introduce ourselves to the Commission and offer our advocacy and partnership. We are an inclusive and diverse community of over 1,000 San Franciscans who rely on this sport for exercise, mental health, and social connection. We span all ages, genders, backgrounds, and skill levels to create one of the most free and accessible recreational opportunities in the city. Today, we'd like to share information and personal stories about how the sport is so important to us and the Park Department's mission of providing enriching recreational opportunities for the well-being of everyone in our diverse community, as well as policy suggestions that we believe addresses park maintenance challenges with the community's needs to continue thriving. Again, we appreciate all the work that the staff and commission does to make Golden Gate Park a great place for everyone to enjoy. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Next speaker.
Good morning. My name is Anthony Inocentes, and on March 31st, 2021, we hosted the first Wednesday in the park with one net and a handful of volleyball players. By summer, the Wednesday group quickly grew to an average of 5 to 7 courts and 60-plus people showing up. In addition, at this time, the demand for grass volleyball grew to a point where I and other net owners would host every other day in the park. It's a community represented by all ages, ethnicities, lifestyles, coming together to exercise and live a healthy physical, mental, and emotional lifestyle through volleyball in Golden Gate Park. The majority of the players are from San Francisco. However, it must be noted that this community is also represented by players that come frequently from Marin, the East Bay, the South Bay, and Napa. One of the positive spillover effects that grass volleyball in the park brings to the city of San Francisco is increased sales revenue at local restaurants and pubs, as most players are quite hungry, thirsty, and would like to chat after playing an entire day of volleyball. Over the years, Parks and Rec has had to adapt to changing times. In the late 70s and early 80s, the hot issue was roller skating, which resulted in the construction of the outdoor roller rink at 6th Street in Golden Gate Park. In the past 10 years or so, pickleball has been the hot topic, which has resulted in pickleball courts being built, as well as the conversion of existing tennis courts to accommodate pickleball. Grass volleyball is now the topic of discussion. However, unlike roller skating and pickleball, we are not asking you to commit funds to build us a grass volleyball court or facility. We are simply seeking reasonable rules and reasonable access to existing grass fields within Golden Gate Park. Thank you for your time.
Next speaker.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lance Dwyer. Oh, sorry.
We're just so eager. I'm sorry. Wednesdays in the Park is just one example. We've also hosted beginner lessons, now 14 sessions in, designed for people who've never played before and might not otherwise feel confident jumping into a game. We charge a small fee to keep no-shows low and to reinvest in the experience. Balls for new players, snacks to keep energy up, and a warm, welcoming environment. These are just two of many programs community members have built, programs that offer structure, mentorship, and connection in a city where it is easy to feel isolated. They're run by volunteers, they're open to the public, and they fill a real gap in access to recreation. If we were to pull permits for every session, it could cost us hundreds of dollars per event, which simply isn't feasible or sustainable for grassroots programming. But the impact of these gatherings is undeniable. They promote health, inclusion, and community, all values at the heart of RPD's mission. We're not asking for special treatment. We are asking the Parks Department and the board today to consider the positive impact of these volleyball gatherings. They promote health, wellness, and community spirit. They provide a safe and inclusive space for residents to connect. They represent a vibrant, self-organized effort that deserves support, not financial discouragement. We're asking you to recognize what already exists and help it thrive. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Hello again. My name's Lance Dwyer. I've lived in San Francisco for 20 years, and I play volleyball 1 to 4 times a week with these fine folks here. In the daytime, one of the hats I wear is as a licensed psychotherapist, and so I have the great privilege of sharing some context on why volleyball is important from a community well-being, mental health perspective. We are currently in a loneliness epidemic, as declared by the former U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, in 2023. In his advisory on the healing effects of social connection, one of the main findings was that nearly half of adults in the United States suffer from considerable loneliness. And that can impact physical, mental, and societal health. This advisory includes 6 pillars that connect closely with the policy changes we are requesting, some of which we are grateful to have already received from RPD prior to today's meeting. I'd like to highlight the first 2 pillars. Pillar 1, strengthen infrastructure in local communities. That includes establishing and scaling community connection programs. Invest in local institutions that bring people together. Pillar 2, enact pro-connection public policies. That includes adopting connection in all policies approach, advance policies that minimize harm from disconnection. In terms of community well-being and the healing effects of social connection, the advisory also found that community connection programs, like our volleyball community, for example, strengthen a city's overall health. This includes community resilience when natural hazard strikes, community safety, economic prosperity, and representative government. How we see this play out in San Francisco is that as people move here, if they face barriers finding social connection, they either leave or they stay but do not become an engaged community member. Residents in San Francisco without community are far less likely to be individuals who offer or ask for help, which then impacts community resilience, community safety, and engagement. Thank you for your time.
Next speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen of the RPD Commission, thank you for having us. You're likely to become aware that there is an issue with increasing volleyball activity in Golden Gate Park, eroding the lawns and hogging space from picnickers and park enjoyers. This is merely a symptom. Volleyball has grown nationally and locally. According to our local sports organizer, Volo, volleyball is their second biggest sport. And yet, the city's athletics infrastructure has not kept up with the growth. There are 13 public volleyball courts in the city, 9 of which are only available for 2-hour sessions each week. In contrast, taken from Rec and Park's own site, there are 142 tennis courts, 100 basketball courts, 93 pickleball courts, and 67 soccer fields. These courts are available at any time of day and free to walk on, barring reservations. If you wish to play volleyball and you don't have a net, you either have to check with Rec Center to see which open gyms hours are open, or go to one of the 4 outdoor public courts in the outskirts of the city. If you wish to play tennis, pickleball, or basketball, there are enough courts that you can simply walk onto your local neighborhood court and play. Next slide. It is because of the incredibly low number of playable recreation hours compounded with prohibitively expensive private leagues that our community has adopted a more grassroots approach to foster an inclusive, affordable, and accessible third space. To restrict that feels like battering down upon an already under-resourced community. Please help us grow. Please build more courts and playing fields. And please consider including volleyball in your mission statement. My name is Jeremy, and I thank you for your time.
Next speaker.
Morning. Thank you for having all of our community members here today to speak about volleyball and our passion and dedication towards working with the committee today to allow space for us to play volleyball in the park. Thank you. My name is Rebecca Ramsdale. I'm coming here today as a member of the volleyball community and a sustainability consultant. So when I work with my clients, I try to identify a space that's welcoming, has open space, connection to the natural environment, and I think that completely overlaps with what I do in my free time in playing volleyball. Grass is a natural mitigator of urban heat island, and we're not asking for any permanent hard courts such as concrete to be constructed because that creates urban heat island effect, which absorbs heat and radiates heat in the surrounding area. Also, if we were to be asking for additional concrete or permanent courts, that requires concrete to be delivered to the site, which is high embodied carbon emissions. Our community strives to leave no trace. We pack in, we pack out. We're bringing our own equipment and cleaning up the area before and after our playtime. We're also committed to volunteering to further help with budget costs by picking up trash or helping with gardening in our spare time to really be advocates of stewards of the land. We realize this is cost effective and we want to help keep the costs low. We recognize what a beautiful area Golden Gate Park is and want to be able to enjoy this mixed use space with all other sports as well as people coming to picnic in their free time. We're a welcoming community that's welcoming all levels of volleyball and different sports preferences. I'm so thankful to be able to participate in this recreational activity. When I explored different areas to live, volleyball was a high priority, and San Francisco is a clear winner to me. So thank you for your time, and I hope that we can work together to find a solution.
Next speaker.
How many more speakers can we accommodate with our 15-minute limit? Have you been? We're at 15 minutes, right? So
It's up to you whether you want.
yeah, I want to limit it to 15 minutes.
Okay, so we're gonna have to wrap it up. So do you want to pick your last speaker?
2 more speakers, this gentleman and 1 more. We'll extend the 15 minutes for 1 more speaker.
Hello, my name is Ricardo Torres. I'm a co-creator of the petition. I've been here in San Francisco for 13 years, and I've been playing volleyball in Golden Gate Park for 6 years. With the current new rules from RPD, we only have 4 locations, 2 per month, with a 2 net capacity at each location. A 5th location and a 4 net capacity has recently been updated with RPD. With the minimal locations allowed at the moment, net cap, and the mix of meadows that are often reserved for small gatherings, at least 3 of which are included in our locations, we do not have sufficient space to accommodate our large community of players. I made a map diagram that visually shows the different public access and usage in Golden Gate Park and how we propose to fit in. We're happy to mention that the diagram and more are being used in our discussion with Beverly, Dana, and more other RPD to better figure out net caps, volleyball play locations, and more. In green, we have meadows and locations that we often play, locations that perfectly fit the needs, capacity, and availability for our community of volleyball players. In yellow are locations we often play, but which are permitted for picnics and small gatherings, often preventing us from using these locations. In orange are other open meadows and locations that are not suitable for volleyball, whether because of turf, proximity to people, or location capacity. For comparison, I've included all other recreational or activity-specific sites in red and private or ticketed sites in black. In efforts to work with RPD, we propose opening more sites throughout the Golden Gate Park, including more sites on the west side of the park, where we are currently not permitted to play. Opening more sites allows our players to find a better balance of recreational play throughout the park, helps us share meadows with permitted gatherings, better accommodates safety concerns between recreational volleyball and other park goers. It disperses our turf impact rather than concentrate it on 2 locations within a month, and it further supports a healthy, active, and robust culture at Golden Gate Park. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Okay, let me just explain what we did. So in order to accommodate you, lovely group, we split item 4, which is 15 minutes of public comment on issues not before the commission on the agenda, okay? So you've used up that 15 minutes now from item 4. I want to get to item 10. After item 10, I'll bring you guys back for general public comment for anybody who hasn't already spoken, okay? Yeah, I can't tell you how long it'll be, sorry.
Okay, we'll just continue with the flow and we'll resume in item 12 then.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much. And we were happy to accommodate you. It wasn't no troubles, but now I need to stick to that 15 minutes so I can get to item 10 because people have been waiting for a long time to get to item 10. Sure.
All right. Hi everyone. My name is Anna, and I'm part of the volleyball community.
Hello.
And we organize events like Wednesdays in the Park, beginner lessons, and doubles tournaments that run entirely on volunteer energy and a love for the game. We're not a company. We're not trying to profit off of the community. In fact, we're trying to give back and care for the community we love. We're just neighbors helping neighbors show up, move their bodies, and meet people in a city where it's getting harder and harder to do that. But right now, we're stuck with permit structures that don't match how the volleyball community operates. Tennis courts with infrastructure, maintenance, and a reservation system are currently free, with a proposed cost of $5 an hour. To run a recurring community volleyball event on grass, we're asked to pay as much as $400 to $500 for just one afternoon. For free events open to the public, run by volunteers. That kind of pricing structure makes it hard to support the very kind of low-barrier recreation that aligns with your mission. We understand the value of the space, and we know the picnic and league permit system helps generate revenue and manage demand, but volleyball doesn't always fit neatly into that framework. What we're proposing is a permit option that reflects how community-based volleyball actually works, one that's flexible, open, cooperative, and community-run. We'd love to collaborate with you in creating a recreational permit for grass-based sports with pricing that makes sense for community-organized, inclusive programs, all while giving you a way to track and support volleyball activity rather than discourage it. We're also happy to contribute beyond fees. We already educate players, rotate locations to reduce wear, and would gladly act as stewards or point people to help your team. Volleyball in the park is already working, and it's working because people care. Let's build a permit model that supports that care, not penalizes it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, as a reminder, that was the chair extending item 4. We have general public comment again after item 11. And
It's
the chair,
item 12, yeah.
and the chair reserves the right to move that around. So
Item
moving
10 now.
10, please raise your hand now by pressing *3. I have quite a few green cards. I'm going to call your name out, and if you could prepare by standing up and coming and waiting over here while the person in front of you finishes, that way we can move through public comment in an efficient manner. So we're going to start with Kimberly, Joe, and then Cyril.
Hello.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for listening to my comment today. My name is Kimberly Howley. I am a District 8 resident. I live across the street from Kezar Stadium. And while this private new soccer deal was happening behind closed doors, I watched the existing professional San Francisco City Football Club, the kids from 1 to 92, and so many more walking, running, and playing at this public gym. This deal, as is, does not do enough to protect fair use for all at Kezar. The RPD staff report name drops a few notable high schools that can still play if they don't interfere with the new club's schedule. The report, as I read it, did not reflect the discussions in the presentation today. It also gives exclusive concessions and tickets control to the new football club. Any good neighbor knows that Kezar is used a lot more often and for many more reasons than the listed exceptions. We can do better than this. Eliminate the exclusivity clauses and the priority access. Keeping the deal as is would be like if we had permitted the Google shuttles to disrupt existing muni stops and schedules. We obviously found a compromise there. I'm not saying that there's no space for a new soccer team at Kezar or no benefit to the city if we welcome one. What I am saying is that it needs to happen in a way that does not displace the existing team or the thousands of residents who depend on this city gem. As the grassroots volleyball community showed us so beautifully today, prioritizing public space is prioritizing public health. We need to protect public health over private interests. We need to keep communities together. We are seniors walking the upper loop to stay mobile for our grandchildren. We are families watching our high school graduates walk the field. We are fans cheering for the oldest community-owned soccer club in the country. Kezar Stadium is a glorious space made for hoping and dreaming and chasing better versions of ourselves, our city. I can dream of a better version of this deal for our city, and I think that you can too. Keep negotiating and keep Kezar for the people first. Thank you.
Joe, and then Cyril, and then Dan.
Good morning.
Okay, so now we're going to move to closed session. Before we move to closed session, does anyone have public comment on our closed session, which is item 11? Okay, seeing no public comment on closed session, public comment is closed.
So the way this is going to work is when we go into a closed session, and this should be pretty brief, everyone has to clear the room. Then we go into closed session. Then when we come out, then people come back into the room for item 12.
At this time, we would ask all staff and members of the public who are not pertinent to this item to please leave the meeting.
Hi, Benita.
I'll come back out and get you when this item is completed so you can hang out in the hallway. For members of the public who are joining us remotely, you can track when we are back in open session on SF.gov TV or via our webinar.
SF.gov TV, San Francisco Government Television.
Okay, let's see here, 12:44. All right, commissioners, we're back in open session. I need a motion and a second on whether you would like to report on the action taken in closed session.
Commissioner?
So moved.
Oh, wait. The statement is, will we report or not report?
You want to move to not report, right?
Right.
Okay.
I have a motion and a second not to report. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposition? All right.
Commissioners, I need a motion and a second on whether to disclose any or all discussions held in closed session.
Take a motion and a second on that.
A second?
So moved.
We have move not to disclose.
Not to disclose. Thank you.
And a second. Okay. All those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. No
Thank you,
opposition?
commissioners.
Right, thank
Okay,
you.
we're now on item 12, general
Thank you.
public comment.
Back to general public comment. And if you haven't had an opportunity to speak yet in general public comment, please approach. You have 2 minutes. Thanks for waiting.
Yeah, it's back up. There you go.
Great. Good afternoon, commissioners. Thank you
Hello.
so much for your time. My name is Harrison Lin. I'm a resident of San Francisco, a mechanical engineer, and an avid volleyball player. Today I'm here to talk about the gear we use for volleyball, specifically stakes. During our discussions with Rec Park, Rec Park has requested that volleyball players use plastic stakes over aluminum stakes that come stock with most nets. While my personal opinion differs on that recommendation due to the hazards that plastic stakes can pose if they break in the ground, the volleyball community understands and respects RPD's request and are putting in the work to find the appropriate plastic stakes to retrofit nets with. So here are some examples of nets of stakes that we're trying and experimenting with to find the appropriate one that will be the safest for our volleyball community. But just wanted to communicate that we're working on finding a solution. We want to work together, make sure that everyone can play volleyball safely, and that we find the best solution out there. We hope to have recommendations for Rec Park in the coming weeks. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank you.
Next speaker. Oh, Madyson? Okay, let me see.
We have somebody in person, then Madyson online.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Hi. I'm going to mention a couple numbers here that may sound a little silly after we just heard about tens of millions of dollars, but I think it's to scale with the things that we want to achieve and to the cost that we cause the park. So my name is Charlie. I'm a member of the grass volleyball community in San Francisco, and I'm here to talk to you about why I believe that meeting the demand for volleyball in Golden Gate Park and across the city is in SFRPB's best interests, both because of how our community supports the department's mission and because I think we can be a valuable financial and labor resource for parks in a way that won't exclude the participation of folks who may not be able to afford things like permits and nets. We would love to work with RPD to come up with funding initiatives with clear goals. For example, we could establish donation channels or host events where funds raised would support volleyball infrastructure, such as sand courts in Mission Bay, or the maintenance and recovery of the grounds used for volleyball. I recently participated in a one-day fundraising tournament in South Bay that demonstrates the potential for these kind of community-driven events. That tournament grossed over $4,000 in registration fees alone, and by engaging net owners and event organizers in the volleyball community, similar tournaments could be organized at little to no cost to the park. You've probably noticed the uniform we arrived in today. In the course of distributing this apparel, in addition to covering its costs, we were able to collect an additional $145 in donations for parks' operational costs for volleyball. So these are just kind of a few quick examples of how we can be an asset, but really what I'd like to impress upon you today is that there is tangible fiscal value in collaborating with the volleyball community. Together, we can ensure a vibrant, accessible, and sustainable environment for volleyball players of all backgrounds, strengthening our parks, supporting our community, and promoting healthy, active lifestyles for everyone. Thank you for listening to me today. I look forward to seeing what we can accomplish as partners.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so is Madyson the next person? Okay, Madyson, if, yeah, she's got her hand raised. SFGov TV, can you unmute her, please?
My name is Madyson Migliozzi, and I want to thank you for your time today and for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the Golden Gate Park volleyball community. We appreciate Beverly, Dana, and Dave for meeting with us earlier this week and for genuinely listening to our perspectives. The follow-up message we received after Monday's meeting clearly reflected Rec and Park's understanding of our concerns around space and net capacity. We're encouraged by your openness to collaboration and the proactive steps already underway. I'd like to take a moment to reiterate the key priorities discussed today. First, increasing the number of available nets for volleyball is essential. As our community continues to grow, we need more accessible, safe spaces where people can gather, play, and connect. Second, we advocate for allowing more nets per field. Considering an expansion of up to 8 nets at certain locations is a great step forward. We appreciate your commitment to evaluating each site individually, as this will help better meet the needs of our community and allow people of all levels to participate. Finally, we urge the department to simplify and reduce the cost of the permitting process. Whether through a streamlined framework or an alternative approach, making permits more accessible will help eliminate unnecessary barriers and foster more equitable use of our shared public spaces. We believe that together we can create a system that promotes growth, access, and community. Thank you once again for your partnership, responsiveness, and continued dedication to enhancing recreational opportunities for everyone. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, is that everybody? Okay, thanks for your patience today. Is there anyone else on the line who wants to comment? I don't think I have. Okay, seeing no further callers, public comment is closed. Commissioners, we're now on item 13, Commissioners Matters. Anything from you all today? Yes, Commissioner.
Yes, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Great Greenager program. I attended the Spring Fling on April 18th. I got there later in the day, about 3 o'clock, and there was over 30 Greenagers who volunteered their time to operate a lot of the games and events that were happening at the event that day. This is over and above what they do in their own program. Just wanted to give a shout out to Carissa Ortega, Evelyn Ramirez, and Tracy Fan, and those 30-plus Greenagers that were at Spring Fling on the 18th.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else?
Yeah, I would like to put on, Ashley, help me, I want to give it some time, so let's ask that an agenda item in July would be a follow-up on the grassroots volleyball issues, because I know that Dana and Bev are talking with the community. I appreciate how organized and informative everyone has been. I think there is an answer to this permit fee versus no permit fee. It has to do with whether lessons are given or not. But anyway, I think it would be edifying for the commissioners to know a little bit more about all of this and see where we're at in this wonderful, robust community conversation.
Okay. Anything else, Commissioners? I'll just take item 13 and 14 together. Okay. Any public comment on those? Okay. Item 15, communications. Any discussion on those, Commissioners? Okay. Any public comment on item 15? Seeing none, public comment is closed. We're now at item 16, adjournment.
Do I have a motion and a second?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor state aye.
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 Aye. We are adjourned at 12:52 p.m. Boom. Thanks.